Some people switch to zero-calorie sweeteners and lose 20 pounds easily, while others keep the cravings, stay hungry, and the scale never moves. Ever wonder why the same Diet Coke that helps your coworker drop weight seems to keep you stuck in the exact same place? Today, I'll explain zero-calorie sweeteners and whether they actually help you lose weight like you're 5 years old. By the end, you'll understand whether sweeteners are secretly saving you calories or quietly sabotaging your progress. You'll know exactly which category you fall into. No guessing needed. Here's what we actually know about these sweeteners. Zero-calorie sweeteners don't spike your blood sugar, and they contain 0 calories. That part is real. If you swap a 150-calorie regular soda for a 0-calorie one and change nothing else, you just saved 150 calories. The math works perfectly on paper, right? But here's the problem. The change nothing else part almost never happens in real life. Your brain doesn't operate in a vacuum. It reacts. It compensates and finds creative ways to get what it wants. Some studies show people who use sweeteners lose weight. Others show no difference at all, or even slight weight gain over time. Why the massive difference? Because human behavior isn't a controlled lab experiment. Some people use diet soda as a bridge. They satisfy a craving without the calories, and it genuinely helps them stick to their plan. You're learning balance, building confidence, getting where you need to go. But then there's the other group, who responds differently. They drink the diet soda, feel virtuous about their 0-calorie choice, then unconsciously eat more at the next meal. Or they find themselves standing in front of the pantry at 9 p.m. suddenly craving chips when they weren't even hungry before. This is called compensation, and it's not some moral failing or lack of willpower. It's your brain doing exactly what it was designed to do. You gave it the taste of sweet without the calories it expected, so your brain feels cheated. It starts hunting for those missing calories somewhere else. It's like getting a paycheck notification on your phone, opening your bank account, and finding out it was just spam. Your system doesn't just ignore that disappointment, it corrects for it. Now here's where it gets really interesting with sweeteners. The sweetness itself might be keeping your craving circuit active constantly. You're training your brain to want sweet things all day, never giving it a break from that signal. For some people, especially those who are insulin resistant or have strong sugar addiction patterns, 0-calorie sweeteners make things worse. They make hunger and cravings worse instead of better. It's like trying to quit smoking by switching to vaping. Sure, you're avoiding some harmful chemicals, but you're still feeding the core addiction. Your experience with sweeteners depends entirely on how your body and brain respond to them. Some people can drink a Coke Zero at lunch and forget about it completely. No extra cravings, no compensation eating. For them, sweeteners are a legitimate tool that makes dieting easier and more sustainable. But others take one sip and suddenly they're thinking about food for the next 6 hours straight. Their appetite goes completely haywire. They end up eating more total calories than if they just had the regular soda. This matters because most diet advice assumes everyone's metabolism works the same way, but it doesn't. Your personal response to sweeteners is like your internal thermostat. Only you can feel what's actually happening inside your body. Nobody else can tell you how your hunger feels 2 hours after drinking that diet energy drink. So here's the decision framework you can actually use. Use sweeteners as a bridge if they genuinely reduce your total calorie consumption without triggering extra hunger later. If you can have your diet drink, move on with your day, and not think about food again until your next planned meal, they're working. Keep them in your diet. But avoid sweeteners if you notice increased cravings after consuming them, especially in the evening when willpower is already low. If you find yourself eating more later in the day, or if you've been using them for years without progress, they might be part of the problem. Your taste buds adapt to whatever you expose them to most often. The longer you stay in everything must taste sweet mode, the harder it becomes to enjoy naturally low-sugar foods. Plain yogurt tastes sour when you're used to sweet. Vegetables taste boring. Black coffee tastes like pure punishment. You've turned your palate into a toddler who only eats chicken nuggets. And here's what nobody tells you. That adaptation doesn't happen overnight, but it also doesn't take forever to reverse. Most people notice their taste preferences shifting within 2 to 3 weeks of reducing sweetness. The interesting part is what happens to your hunger signals during that transition. When you're constantly consuming sweet tastes, even 0-calorie ones, your brain stays in a perpetual state of expectation. It's always anticipating calories that never arrive. That creates a background noise of hunger that you might not even recognize as abnormal because it's been your baseline for so long. Think about the last time you felt genuinely hungry versus the last time you felt like eating something sweet. Those are two completely different signals, but they get mixed up when you're feeding your brain sweetness all day. True hunger is your body actually needing fuel. Sweet cravings are often your brain seeking the dopamine hit it associates with sugar. Sweeteners give you the taste, but not the reward, which can leave that craving loop wide open. Here's a simple experiment you can try starting tomorrow. Pick one path. Either keep your zero-calorie sweeteners exactly as you normally use them, or remove them completely for 7 full days. No half measures. No, I'll just have one. Commit to one approach for the full week. Then track one single thing: your cravings at night, specifically between dinner and bedtime. Are you hunting through cabinets looking for something to eat even though you had a full dinner? Are you thinking about food constantly, scrolling food videos on your phone at midnight? Or do you feel more satisfied and calm, like your hunger signals finally make sense again? That's your data right there. Your body will tell you the truth if you actually listen to it. This isn't about moral superiority or clean eating nonsense. It's about finding what actually works for your specific biology. Some people need the bridge that sweeteners provide. Others need to retrain their palate completely. Neither answer is wrong. But pretending the answer is the same for everyone is absolutely wrong. Here's what happens when sweeteners work well for someone. They use them strategically, usually earlier in the day when cravings are manageable. They don't rely on them as their primary source of satisfaction. They're genuinely consuming fewer total calories, and they can feel the difference. Their weight trends downward over weeks and months. They don't feel deprived. And here's what it looks like when sweeteners are sabotaging someone. They consume them throughout the day, often multiple servings. They still think about food constantly despite drinking diet beverages. Their weight stays exactly the same month after month. They feel like they're doing everything right, but getting nowhere. When they finally remove sweeteners, the first few days are rough, but then suddenly food tastes better and hunger becomes predictable again. The bottom line is this: zero-calorie sweeteners can be a useful tool, but they're not magic, and they're definitely not for everyone. If they help you consume fewer calories without triggering compensation eating or keeping your sweet tooth on life support, use them strategically. But if they're keeping you trapped in constant cravings and the scale hasn't moved in months, it's time to let them go and see what happens. The goal isn't to replace sugar forever with some chemical substitute. The goal is to get to a place where you don't need everything to taste like dessert, where regular food satisfies you, where hunger comes and goes naturally, instead of screaming at you all day long. To recap, zero-calorie sweeteners work by providing sweetness without calories or blood sugar spikes. That part is scientifically sound. Some people use them successfully as a bridge to reduce calories without triggering extra hunger. Others experience compensation eating, where they unconsciously consume more food later because their brain is hunting for expected calories. Your response depends on your individual biology, insulin sensitivity, and psychological relationship with sweet tastes. The 7-day experiment gives you real data about whether sweeteners are helping or hurting your situation. So here's the real question. Are your zero-calorie sweeteners genuinely saving you hundreds of calories per week and making your diet sustainable? Or are they keeping your cravings alive and triggering compensation eating you don't even notice? Try the 7-day experiment this week and tell me what you discover. Are you team diet soda or team ditch the sweeteners entirely? Drop your experience in the comments because I want to know what's actually working for real people, not what some study says should work in theory.